Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. If you're listening on the audio, thank you for listening. If you're watching on your TV Muskoka or on MuskokaUnlimited.com, thank you. I have a really special guest, someone who I really enjoy his music. My wife has introduced me to this gentleman back in the day, a long time ago. First song I ever listened to was Canadian Kid, loved it, and been following you along since then. So, Mr. Brett Kissel, thank you for joining me today.
No, the pleasure's all mine, dude. And it's yeah, if your wife listened to Canadian Kid, that was from an album in like 2012, 2013. So if you've been listening to my music for a decade, you're part of the OG club, and I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, and I love that song. It's still in the heavy rotation because I was actually, I'll tell you the story really quick. I was actually making a Canadian list for a party that had a Canadian theme, and so I was making a big list of music and finding Canadian artists and Canadian theme songs. And that song was what came up. My wife was like, "Canadian Kid, Brett Kissel, you gotta listen to this. I've heard it before." And then we put it on that, and ever since then we've been listening. So thanks for making that awesome track.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And it's important to have a song about national pride. Eden Brody's got Canadian Girls and Canadian Summer. I've got Canadian Kid. George Fox has Clearly Canadian. There's a bunch of songs that really talk about how proud we are of our homeland. And Americans do that so well. There's so much about American pride and USA, USA, USA. And for me, it's like, yeah, but we're better. So why don't we do some great Canadian songs?
I love it. So on the note of Canadian songs, we'll get into the Compass tour that you're on now and talk about all the awesome 4 albums you did. But before that, I just want to say, I saw that you got to do the Canadian national anthem. I know you're a proud Oilers fan, proud Canadian. You got to do the national anthem, the Heritage Classic for the Battle of Alberta, I believe. How was that for you as like that Oilers fan growing up and getting to do that?
It was a huge moment. Just honored that the Oilers asked me to be a part of that and do that. I love singing "O Canada." I think "O Canada" is the best song in the world, and so getting that chance was a huge honor. Obviously, huge Oilers fan. I can't believe how well we're doing right now. It is just such an exciting time to be a fan of the Oils. So because of that, it's an amazing thing when you can have hockey and music, both of those worlds meet up. So I'm really, really proud of that.
That's awesome. I figured you were like so pumped. I was like, he's got to love this. Like, I mean, it's every young sports fan, for any sports fan to be able to be talented enough to do that for their favorite team, if they can't play for it. So,
But I'll tell you something interesting, Chris, is that there's a lot of artists, a lot of buddies of mine, they don't like doing anthems because of the pressure that comes with singing a national anthem. And there is a lot of pressure, even though it's only, a 60 or 90-second song. If you mess it up, you're going to be on TSN's worst anthem list for the rest of your life. A lot of these guys would rather just go to the game and drink beer and let someone else do the anthem and everything. But I just love being a part of the game. There's a couple little moments that a lot of people don't realize happen as an anthem singer. You're walking out on that red carpet, but, I know a lot of the guys on the Oilers, and there have been a couple of times where, McDavid or Stuart Skinner or Draisaitl will holler right before as I'm getting introduced, "Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national." And in that time, McDavid will give me a little fist bump, or one of the boys will do that and be like, "Let's go, Kiss," like that. That fires me up, or I can't swear on TV or on this episode, but one time some of the coaches will be like, now don't F this up, they'll say that just as a little dig, pretty funny. Or the opposing team, the opposing team one time, a bunch of the Anaheim Ducks in the playoffs a couple of years ago, or as soon as they announced my name, they booed me. And because they know I'm a huge Oiler fan, and they went boo, and it was just like really, really cool. So no one sees me on camera go up and give the middle finger to the Anaheim Ducks, like that as I'm about to sing. So all those little things are part of the game, and I love being a part of it.
I love it. That's so awesome. Those are great little stories too. I love that. In terms of we'll go the tour you're on now, the Compass tour. Before we talk a little bit about, that cool small town vibe you bring when you come to Huntsville and other small towns, because that's in your heart. Tell anyone who doesn't know, what the 4 albums are about, like the North, South, East, and West.
Yeah, of course. Well, the Compass Project is really about my internal compass here. And I even have a tattoo of a compass on my heart here. And so I've always wanted to do a unique box set of a lot of different music from different subgenres of country music. And finally, celebrating now, I thought, okay, well, it's 10 years I've been into this career, 10 years since my first album. Let's do a greatest hits album. But we still got to play new music. So let's definitely make sure we have a bunch of new music. But, I really love the singer-songwriter side of country music. And if anybody really gets to know me, and if I ever sit around a campfire with you, these are the songs that I'll break out. But at the same time, I'm from the West. I grew up on a cattle ranch, and my family are so country that I got to do a Western album. So all of a sudden I'm like, holy, well, that's 4 albums. Let's do 4 albums, and call it the Compass Project. So that's in a nutshell how it all came to be. And I'm really proud of how it's now all turned out and the success that we've been having with the Compass Tour, as well as the Compass Project.
That's awesome. And I love that you did that, where you kind of paid homage to all the different kind of styles that you love in the different areas. And that brings me to this question. I know that, you're a big Johnny Cash guy. You got the signed poster at home, signed picture at home. Who are some of the other influences in your life, musically, that kind of tied into this whole project happening?
There's many. On the box set side of things, George Strait's got an incredible box set called Straight Out of the Box. And George Strait is one of my all-time heroes, as is Garth Brooks. There's just no better entertainer on the planet, I'm convinced of it, than Garth Brooks. What he's able to do with a crowd is better than anybody or anything I've ever seen in my life. So Garth Brooks is right at the top there. But also there's artists like Dolly Parton and Reba McEntire that I love. The Eagles, man, do I ever love the Eagles. And I've got a bunch of different, box sets, that they've got too. So thinking about those artists, I wanted to do something really, really big. So you have to think about some of the biggest names.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Quick break in the action. Right now is where one of you should be putting your sponsorship and putting your products or your services on display to all our listeners, all our watchers, all our followers, everybody, right here, right now. So reach out and we'll hook you up. We'll get you into the next podcast and we'll spread your word for you. Take care. Ciao for now.
Names, and try to emulate what they've done. So those artists are definitely at the top of the list.
Awesome. And yeah, and I figured, there had to be big artists influencing a big project. It can't, right? Like you have to shoot for the stars and aim high. And I think you've done a great job with it. Anyone who hasn't listened, you guys got to listen. I'll do a shameless plug right now for Brett. You got to listen to those albums, go through them. I haven't been through them all yet, but I've been picking away a few songs at a time here and there. And I just love it. It's a great vibe. So that's awesome. I wanted to say thank you for coming to small towns like Huntsville. Thank you for sticking through to your small town guy roots. I know you've mentioned that before in other interviews. So what is it about doing these kind of, these smaller venues, these more intimate shows that means so much to you that you keep doing them, even though you keep growing in stature?
Well, for me, it's about understanding exactly what you talked about, roots, and understanding where my roots are, and getting an opportunity to always come back and pay tribute to my roots, but understand that it's the small town people that are a big part of my story. And don't get me wrong, I love going to Toronto. I love going to Montreal. I love playing in Vancouver. But there's something special, and it's indescribable, but if you're from a small town, looking out at that audience, you see your neighbor, you see your friend, you see the mechanic, you see, whatever, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, you see everybody. And that's a beautiful feeling and a sense of community, which you actually don't get in the big cities. In the big cities, you'll get big production, and you're going to get, these big feelings that come from being in a bigger center. But I like stripping it down and going to a smaller town often more than I do love playing in a big city. Here's another thing, not to get too political, but we understand the state of the world right now. We understand how difficult it is right now in this current chapter of life with the economy. So because of that, I have to be aware that if someone's going to spend a lot of money to come to the big city, they're actually going to do that to see Taylor Swift. I get it. I'm not Taylor Swift. They're going to do that to see Morgan Wallen. I get it. I'm not Morgan Wallen. But I want to make sure that if someone still wants to see my music, they might not be able to travel because their concert budget, their travel budget, their hotel budget has been taken by one of the biggest artists on the planet. So it's important for me to actually come and see you where you are and say, you don't have to travel, I'm going to come to you. So that way, instead of it being, you know, it's a $60 ticket or a $70 or an $80 ticket, something that many of us can't afford.
Yeah.
But if it was an $80 ticket in Toronto, you'd have to spend $300 in gas, $600 in hotel. And before you know it, you times that by 4 kids or 4 family members or 6 family members. If you're like me, you got 4 kids.
Yeah.
You know what? All of a sudden, it's a couple $1,000.
True.
I don't want to make you pay. I just want to make you to pay $60 because I know it's worth it. So that's why we're coming to Huntsville in that regard. And some tickets are 60, some are 80. Yeah. Maybe with the meet and greet, it might be $200. But you know what? At least I'm coming to you. And I hope that fans in Huntsville will see that, respect that, and appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think fans all over the country, no matter what town it's in, you know, we just happen to be talking about the show coming to my hometown, but it doesn't matter what hometown you're in. I think that's, and you summed it up great. I'm coming to you, or you're coming to us, and you know, it's avoiding me having to go down and spend $600 a night, which is what it is now in Toronto or any other big town. So I think that's amazing.
Exactly.
2 last questions. 2 last questions. The first one is, you've won a lot of awards, Junos, Canadian Country Music Awards, Western Country Music Awards. Is there any 1 or 2 that really kind of, you know, hit the heart spot, like really stand out to you, like that one meant a lot to me?
You know what, the reason why, and I'm not giving you a Miss America answer, I've got a specific award, but I'm going to say in general. Okay. Anytime you get to walk across the stage and accept one in front of your friends, your family, your fans, and your peers in the industry, it's an amazing moment and a beautiful star on your timeline. So as I look back over the last 10 years, or I know one day I'm going to be 60 years old, 70, 80, 90, maybe I'll be 100, I don't know. But I know I can look back at those moments with extraordinary pride, knowing that that was something that would signify and would really exemplify the hard work that I put in that year, or the hard work or the amazing moment it was writing that song and what that song meant to the general public. So every award has that for me, and I can hold on to a Juno, or I can hold on to a CCMA and say, wow, that album really meant a lot to me, or that song changed my life. So because of that, it's hard to pick just one. Yes. But there's one that does stand out because it's so different from the rest. And that is my honor from Canada's Walk of Fame. It's called the Alan Slate Impact Honor. And the Alan Slate Impact Honor just honors one Canadian who is a rising star doing something great to put Canada on the map in an international standpoint, as well as, you know, in your homeland of Canada. And knowing the company that I was with, the other artist that got that award, Carly Rae Jepsen and Call Me Maybe, after that song was released worldwide, she got the Alan Slate Impact Award, and they don't give it out every year. Drake, once he rose to superstardom, they gave him that award. Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, Shawn Mendes, and one guy from country music, me. So I kind of can't believe I'm in that conversation that Canada's Walk of Fame said, hey, we've never given out an award to a country artist, and Brett Kissel's that guy. So I'm really, really honored that I got that Impact Award.
Oh, that's awesome. And I could see how that would kind of stand out a little bit more, because it's, you know, it's a special award that doesn't get given out all the time. It's very much saying, wow, you're doing a lot of good. I love that. I love that. Brett, I'm going to ask you one last question. I'm going to let you get into your you know, partner time and have a great time. And you have to tell your wife thank you for letting me steal your time today and all that on my behalf. Because I know how precious it is to get alone time when you have kids. And so I get that.
Yeah.
So one last question. If I don't know Brett Kissel, I've never heard of you, I don't even know anything about you or your music, and I say, why should I come see you play? What would you tell me?
Great question, because I'm going to entertain the hell out of you. That's why. It doesn't matter what genre you like. It doesn't matter if you really don't even like country music. I know that there's going to be a moment in the show or a way to maybe even convert you, to be honest. I've always joked around that if you don't like country music, That's like the dark side, you know, in Star Wars. But let's join the Force. And there's a lot of very, very special moments. And we don't know what the show's really going to be like, but I know we're going to entertain the hell out of you. And that is something that's lost in today's standard of show business. Is there's a lot of artists that go and play their songs, whether you like me or you don't like me, I'm going to play my songs and I don't care. Whereas for me, I'm so aware of who's in the audience and how best to bring you in and understand that for the next 2 hours, we're in this together. We're going to have a pile of fun, and damn, we're going to have a good time. That's my motto. So if you want to be entertained and you want to have a great time on the weekend, or shit, it could be a Tuesday night, I don't care. Come out and have a good time with me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Brett, thank you so much for your time today. That was such a great conversation, and I thank you for sharing some awesome little stories for us to share with the audience and with me. We look forward to you coming February 11th in Huntsville, Deerhurst Resort, also presented by Huntsville Festival of the Arts. So get your tickets, everyone. Go see Brett. He's going to put on a big show, like he just said. So thank you, and have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chris.
Oh.